Oh, yes.
Welcome back once again, everyone. Today we're taking a look at a new character from the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Netflix series. This is the Decepticon Scrapface. Now, Scrapface is a direct redeco of the Reflector toy released in Siege, though with a very, very different paint scheme. And if listings are to be believed, he is supposedly a clone of Reflector. Now, what exactly that's going to mean for fiction, hard to say right now. Reflector as a character has very dubious, origins. Is he one guy? Is he three guys? He can make more than three of himself, or those different guys. So, not sure how it's all going to play up. But it is still cool getting new characters for, this G1 baseline. And Scrapface, despite being just a straight redeco, he's actually, I think he's really cool looking. Love this metallic blue paint on him. So we're gonna get a look at him today. Naturally, like my other reviews, we'll take a look at his packaging first, open it up, see the instructions, look at his little Teletran 1 background piece thing, and then we'll see Scrapface himself in his vehicle and robot modes. Expect a lot of group shots with the other Reflector toys. Probably do some sort of camera configuration. And no, I did not buy 3 of this toy. Well, 1, because I only have 1 copy of them in the store. But also, I already have 6 copies of this mold, barring this guy. I'm not buying 3 Scrapfaces to make a Scrapface camera. So we're going to get a Scrapface Reflector hybrid camera. And then, of course, at the end of the video, I'll get my final thoughts. So Scrapface comes in what is the new standard packaging for these Netflix-based toys. You can see him front and center. I already commented on his really cool metallic blue paint. It's got a lot of dark gray, this kind of burnt orange or red coloring. It's got these slashes across his chest. That's pretty cool. But he comes with the same accessories that Reflector does. Nothing new there. On the side, you have this cool little picture of him. And interestingly, you have pictures of members of the Reflector trio, but done up in their special edition versions from the box set that was released. So I hope that means those are the versions we're getting in the Netflix cartoon, because I find it more interesting if they all look a little different rather than just being identical purple guys. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure some people will disagree with that, but still very cool. I'm really interested in how that's going to play out now. Maybe he'll be a stand-in for one of the members or something. And here on the back, you have his render, which is just a recolor of the Reflector render. His weird gunship mode, robot mode, takes 17 steps to transform. He has what I think is the K-On city symbol. I think it's the same one Megatron has. And on the side, you get your comic book style artwork. Let's move on to the instructions. So the booklet, nothing really new. Same style that we used for the other Netflix-inspired toys here. Right here on the front, you have the suggested weapon placement for him, which I think that's new. Isn't it? I don't think they ever showed you in the instructions to attach to his shoulder like that. Could be wrong. Over here, you got the transformation to his vehicle mode, stick gun thing. And then that's it. Nothing about the camera mode, because he's not really technically part of the trio. Now this is the background piece that Scrapface comes with. And you can see they've got little tabs and little slots with letters showing you how it's supposed to link up to the other pieces. So this is 1 of 5, and once I review the final deluxe, I'll go ahead and show the completed backdrop. So, pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, here we have Scrapface in his gun, stick, ship, vehicle thing. And something I want to point out, I forgot to mention earlier, so Scrapface himself is an homage to actually a G.I. Joe character named Scrap Iron. And the homage is kind of a twofold one. One, the name Scrapface, Scrap Iron, but also his color scheme is very reminiscent of the G.I. Joe character's outfit. So I thought that was a neat little nod. It's not every day you get a G.I. Joe shout out in a mainline Transformers toy. I think the last one we got was Viper in Combiner Wars. So, which is pretty neat. So there's really nothing new to see here with this vehicle mode. All the same molding. It's just a very different color scheme. You can see he's got a lot of this shiny blue paint that's kind of faded onto the gray plastic. So it gives him kind of a worn look. And then he's got this orange, which is very reminiscent of rust, which I'm guessing, you know, kind of plays in the whole scrap aspect of his name. And overall, it's just kind of neat looking. Got a nice Decepticon tampo right here. And his accessories are done up in a very, very dark gray as opposed to the black or lighter gray that the reflector guys or refractor guys have. He does have this nice, really dark orange, almost red windshield thing going on here. And, you know, if you don't mind the mold itself, you don't mind the kind of wonky vehicle mode, he's a really good version of it because he does have a very interesting color scheme and it just kind of stands out amongst his refractor brethren. And here we have all these stick gun ship guys all lined up together, just so you can see all the different variations of the color scheme. So you got regular refractor over here, and then you have the trio from the special gift set. And, you know, it is nice seeing these be very markedly different from one another as far as color. Kind of makes you think of a Seeker Squadron. Right now we have our look at the robot mode. And you can see the colors used, they're so interesting. Love how that rust bit ends up on his shins there. And it might be hard to see, but full focus. You see on his chest, he's got those, was it 4 little slashes across it. And those even extend onto the white paint, so that's a really nice touch. So overall, he's just a really neat looking little character. He's very simple, has really no kibble at all, and anything that might have been kibble becomes like an accessory for him. So, you know, I kind of feel the same way about him as I did with the regular reflector or refractor. Is he's a cool looking robot, but he is kind of a hard sell for $20 because he is quite small and rather simple. And, you know, I mean, his transformation, his vehicle mode leave a lot to be desired. You know, this mold works best as a complete set when you get like enough to make a camera. But that aside, I think this is a really nice reuse of an existing mold. I really would have liked to have seen more like this in the new Netflix stuff than what we got, which was mostly just slight redecos of, you know, existing Siege characters. Now, I get why they did it. Obviously, it's to market toward the new show and build up hype for the show and all that. So I get that. You know, if people didn't buy into the toy line during Siege, you know, now that Netflix has a show, maybe they will. So I get it. I get it. As a collector, you know, as a completionist, I would have liked to have seen more new characters. You know, we only got 2 new ones. We got one with a faction change, and then that was it. Well, I guess technically 3 if you count Pinpointer, right? He's new. So yeah, I am happy this guy exists. One as just a new character that fits within the G1 aesthetic, and you know, you can just easily slot him into a G1 based collection. And also as just the nice little nod to an obscure G.I. Joe character. Or, you know, relatively obscure. So he works for me on a few levels. And here's a nice group shot for the robot modes. Just, again, so you can see the different variations. The fact that the Refractor Reconnaissance team, each one of the members came with their own unique accessories, really helps mix everything up a bit. You know, they get the added parts as well as different configurations for their shields and all that, so just kind of helps set them apart. All right, before I wrap this up, I'm going to go ahead and slap Scrap Iron onto a modified camera mode here. All right, here is our horrific chimera of a camera mode. You got your standard refractor here, special one here, and then you got Scrap Iron in the middle. So, I don't know, it's got a certain charm to it. There could be some sort of Hydra attack that they do, right? Overall, you know, it'll work just as well as any other of the camera modes. Now, again, I apologize for not being able to show you the, like a 3 Scrap Iron, or sorry, Scrapface camera, but I can't bring myself to go 3 in on these again. It's too much. Got to cut off the plastic crack habit somewhere, so. But hopefully this at least gives you a rough idea of how it'll look. I don't know. Imagine this nice metallic blue camera lens will be pretty snazzy there. And with that, I think we're going to draw this to a close. Scrapface is a fun little toy, something new, something original to get. I like that they made him a new character instead of trying to like shoehorn an existing character into the refractor mold. Whenever I see them do like a lazy redeco or retool to, you know, give you a character you don't have, but it looks nothing like that character, they just wanted to reuse a mold, and it just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Now, sometimes it works, right? Sometimes retools work very well, and then other times they don't. So because I can't really see any existing characters fitting this mold very well, I think they did the best thing, just made a new one. So, you know, I would pick him up if you come across him. He's just a fun addition to your overall Siege display. I really hope he's utilized decently in the TV show and he's not like just some background character. Would be a little disappointing if they made a figure for him and he never really ends up doing anything in the show. So I can't wait to see that dynamic. He's supposedly a reflector or refractor clone. So I want to see what happens. I want to see what he does. I want to see how that whole clone, you know, status works. So yeah, I think he's very much worth picking up. If you want to go ham and buy 3 of them, I mean, it's your money. Though I would say at this early of a stage, with these being so hard to find because they're just hitting shelves, might be a little selfish to do so right now because a lot of people are trying to get just one of them. That's just my 2 cents though. Obviously, you're going to do what you're going to do. But those are my thoughts. Now it's time for you all to tell me what you think of Scrapface. Is he something you plan on picking up? Is he just too out there for you to bother? Do you not want to buy this mold? Do you not like the mold? Or do you think he's great? Any and all feedback is welcome. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know you want to see more stuff like this. If you do want to see more like this, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me for this look at an interesting little homage to a oft-forgotten G.I. Joe character. And with all that said, I will see you next time.